Hello out there. How are you? It's so good to see you once again. We are doing our live Q&A. So I want to welcome you welcome you to our live Q&A. We usually start at 5 o'clock, but this time we had to start a little bit early because we need to just make some adjustments to the schedule. So I'm so glad if you're able to join us live or if you're able to see us later. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been doing for the last 3 weeks, this is our fourth week, we've been doing a live Q&A. We've been doing a live Q&A because I've been getting question after question about things about type 2 diabetes. And I really wanted to answer the questions in a form where people can benefit from the questions and getting the answers for those questions all about type 2 diabetes. Now, my just the whole idea that there is something called type 2 diabetes that is an inflammatory condition, that is a reversible condition. It is diet exacerbated. We've been here to give you the tips and the tools and the tricks to be able to turn this around so that you can make a 180, not a 360, but a 180 to get that type 2 diabetes under control so that you really don't have to worry about it or have to see it again. As you know, type 2 diabetes is a very serious condition. It comes with very significant side effects, not just to the medications, but also to the disease itself. And if you have heard my story before, you know that I lost my mother. Oh my mother. It was just so spectacular. I lost my mother to to the challenges of type 2 diabetes. She ended up with congestive heart failure. And it's so interesting because she was just on a whole lot of different medications. And we thought that these medications were doing things to actually cure her, but they weren't doing anything to cure her. They were just um, medications that treated just the symptoms of her disease, and there was really nothing that was done to reverse the disease. As a matter of fact, I don't at that time, it was not well known that type 2 diabetes was reversible. It was just said that it was just a little bit of sugar, and that's kind of the way we had to deal with it. And I just remember in 1993 when I lost my mother, it was the worst time of my life. And so since then, I've been trying to just help people reverse type 2 diabetes and let them know that this is a reversible disease. Now, there are some things, I have some announcements that I just have to share with you because we're totally excited about this. Is that we are going to start every year, we do a 40-day accelerated healing detox boot camp. What does that mean? That means that every year we come together in a group forum and we go through using food as medicine to help detox your liver, to detox your kidneys, to to increase your energy, to make you look younger, to make you feel better, and all of those things are happening. And blood pressures are lower. People, I'm getting the most incredible testimonials about it. Blood sugars. I had one patient who had blood sugars that up into the 300s, and the blood sugar came down to normal levels during our 40-day accelerated healing detox boot camp. I've had people who, at the end of it, their hemoglobin A1C went from 12 to 6. I mean, just absolutely amazing things happening in that 40-day accelerated healing detox boot camp. And guess what? We are going to start it again on January the 2nd. That is January the 2nd. So it's going to be after all of the holidays, after we've, kind of gotten through that time. We're going to start cleaning out. And I think it's really incredible because people clean out their glove compartment, they clean out the closet, they clean out the bathroom cabinets, they clean out the car. But we always seem to forget that the most incredible thing that we have is our bodies, and that those things should be cleaned out as well. And so that's what we're going to do on January 2nd. And I'd like to invite you to join us. Maria has put in the comments so that you can click on that link and join the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. The deadline is December 15th. We will not be able to accept any late entries like we did last year. It was really just too difficult. And I want everybody to stay together on this one. So we're going to begin January 2nd through February the 10th. I'm sorry, February, yes, February 10th. So we're going to go through January 2nd to February 10th. And what are you going to know by the time you're done with this? You're going to know the importance of food. You're going to know what is it that keeps your liver working properly so that your body is able to detox. So not just from type 2 diabetes, but decreasing your risk of cancer. People with type 2 diabetes are at an increased risk of pancreatic cancer. It's going to also decrease the inflammation. It's going to improve gut health. It's going to get rid of viruses, bacteria, fungus out of your system. We're going to be working specifically to get rid of parasites. All of these things we're going to get rid of because we know that these are things that are going to lead to inflammation and lead to disease. And we want to stop it in its tracks. And what this is really incredible because what you're going to find out is like when you first get started, you get committed and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then day 3, you're like, what in the world am I doing to myself? Why did I do this? And then like by day 10, you're like, oh my goodness, I feel so good. And then day 20, you're like, oh my goodness, I look good. And then day 30, you're going to like, okay, I feel good. And then at day 40, you're going to be like, why didn't everybody do this? And you're going to be so excited about your transformation going from point zero to just accelerating your healing to phenomenal proportions. And we've been able to see some incredible transformations during our 40-day accelerated healing detox bootcamp. So we'd like to invite you this year, whether you're seeing this live or you're seeing it on a later date. I want you to be able to just hop in, join the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. Deadline is December 15th, and obviously the space is limited because we just can't do a lot of people because I want to give personalized care to my group. So I just want to make sure that if you are one of those people who has type 2 diabetes, or not even just type 2 diabetes, if you're having problems with weight, if you're having hormonal imbalances, that's another thing that does is starts to get those hormones balanced out. If you're having problems with high blood pressure or heart disease, we're going to do it in such a way that we're going to decrease the inflammation in your body and make your body feel like it's young again. And that is the important part. So that's our first announcement on Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. The second thing is that we are this will be our last Q&A for these 12 weeks. We have lots of content coming at you, but we wanted to get the questions out. The questions have really been asking the same questions over and over again. And so I'm going to refer people to the previous videos to answer those questions that they may have. That doesn't mean if you don't have new questions at some point during these times, we won't be able to address them. But we were seeing some of the same questions over and over again. So we're not going to belabor the point and repeat things over and over again since we've already recorded them and so they can be done there. Now, one of the things that I'd also like to share with you is that on our accelerated healing detox bootcamp, we also have a little bit of a prize for you for signing up. And what it is called, it is a program that lets you know, okay, let me just state the problem right now. And I'm seeing this way too much. And you've probably been seeing this on the internet, a lot of the things that have been happening with our food, that our food is really very tainted now, and it's difficult to know what is good to eat and what is not. I mean, we're seeing in proportions we've never seen before. We've seen a lot of people with depression, anxiety, weight problems, diabetes, cancers. These things are just exploding. And that is not a coincidence. That is a direct effect of the things that we put inside of here. And the things that we are exposed to around here. So we are going to, in our quest to get you healthier, we're going to share with you things to avoid and things that you should partake of, things to get out of your system and things to put into your system. And we're going to start teaching you that for signing up for the Accelerated Healing Detox Boot Camp. We have a very special offering for you for that. And that's really going to be a way to navigate through the grocery store and kind of tell you what kinds of things should you avoid and what things should you put in your basket. And it's really very interesting, the things that you think you should be able to put into your basket and be healthy from, and they're really not. So I want to be able to steer you in the right direction and help you navigate through the grocery store and be able to see kind of what's going on. There's something that we've been kind of sleeping on. There's been a veil over us, over our eyes, where we have not really been able to see. We thought that because we caught this particular disease, it's just because, hey, it just runs in my family, I'm going to get it. That's not necessarily true. And most of it happens because of genetic mutations in the DNA of our cells. And that happens because there are specific toxins that come in and cause this DNA to do some changes and to damage. And people say, well, but everybody in my family does. Well, we call everybody in your family likely eats the same way, or they're likely exposed to the same toxins. And so it's going to look like it's really just because it's in my genes, but it's not necessarily in your genes. It may be in what you put inside of your genes. And so that's really important. So we're going to be able to give you one of our, oh, we're going to be able to give you a sheet, a little guide to help you navigate through the grocery store so that you will be able to find the right tools for you to get and remain healthy, because that is our goal for you. The last thing that I wanted to do was, there was one question that I wanted to be able to answer. Also, let us not forget, I have gotten some amazing reviews on our holiday cookbook for that people use for Thanksgiving. I've gotten pictures of different foods that people were able to make, and they talked about how delicious they are, and they had no idea that they could taste like this and still be more healthy, so that we can help to control blood sugars and stuff. And that was, one of the things that I think is so important is that these things are happening. Like, you can actually eat foods that you didn't know you could eat. We just help you make them in a way that doesn't make your blood sugar spikes and doesn't increase inflammation to the proportions that the typical Thanksgiving or holiday meals will do. It included appetizers, main courses, sides, vegetables, drinks, everything that you need for your holiday table to be a successful table. And so we'll put that link, Maria, if you can put that link in for the holiday cookbook so that you can actually have the recipes to be able to make your Christmas holiday even better. It's interesting, when I was a resident and I was on call, praise God, I'm not on call. I don't do call anymore. But I remember our motto was, all calls must come to an end. But one of the things that we discovered is that the person who worked call the day after a major holiday, particularly in some of the Jewish hospitals that I worked in, there would be an onslaught of people coming in with heart disease, with exacerbation of their heart disease. There was exacerbation of their diabetes. People would come in and maybe they had fluid in their legs, or maybe they came in with chest pain, or maybe they came in because their blood sugars were extremely elevated or their blood pressures were extremely high. And we were always thinking, like, something like that was the thing that got me to thinking there must be something that is happening on these particular holidays that is making people come in the day after the holiday with these incredibly unfortunate circumstances. And so that is one of the things that we've discovered, and that's part of the reason that we developed the holiday cookbook, so that we can kind of avoid some of those things from happening. So make sure, as she downloads the recipe she did, it's already in the comments. So go ahead and download that. Make sure that you share it with your friends, family, loved ones, people that may be in a different country. This is it's downloadable, and you'll get it immediately. It'll download immediately to whatever device you put it on, so that you can just download it, put it in your file, so that you can refer to that. And some of the recipes are not just for holidays, they're just for whenever you want to eat them as well. There's some really delicious foods in there, so please enjoy them. And please, comment and let us know what you thought about them as well, as what everybody else has already told me, and the blood sugars and how they're much better controlled. And it's just really very, very awesome. And I love being able to help people in that way. Now, here was a question that was not a repetitive question. And this question, and we're not going to belabor the point today, we're going to actually cut our session short after this question. But here is the question. It is, should I change my medications when I know I'm going to eat more? This is from Tony. And, it's very interesting, because that's a really good question, because there are people who are on, you might be on blood pressure medication, or you're on medication for diabetes. And there are certain medications that it's actually detrimental to just stop, because you're eating differently. And so that is a question that you really have to, um, excuse me one second. And that is a question that is very, excuse me, it's a very good question, because some people feel like, oh, well, I'm going to not eat this particular thing, so I'm just going to not do this medication. And that can be really dangerous depending on the medication. So I would never suggest that you just stop a medication without having some medical guidance to the fact that if I stop this, could this cause a rebound in some other area? So you really have to be careful with with type 2 diabetes, with heart disease, with these different issues that you are experiencing with these medications. So you really just can't just adjust your medications on your own in most cases. So you want to have guidance. So, I want you to instead focus on things that are going to just stabilize you. So we talked about the some of these things on last week, so that we wanted to make sure that you stay well hydrated. So the idea is to drink at least 6 to 8 ounces of pure water. And it would be great to just have one of those filters, a pitcher filter. You can use that, or you can put a purifier in your home on your water, so that it comes out and the water is purified. Bottled water can sometimes be problematic depending on the bottle that you use, because some of the bottles will be leaching poisons right into your water bottle and cause into the water, and cause hormonal imbalances. And then you're wondering, like, well, why is this happening? It's because some of those chemicals that come from the plastics, from the water bottles, can actually act like estrogen. And because they act like estrogen, they'll make your hormones go out of balance. So that is important. So stay well hydrated. I want you to also make sure that you do things that stabilize your blood sugar. So when you eat, make sure you take a walk. I always call it a digestive walk. So you're going to walk about 15 to 20 minutes, and just make sure, like, when we do this, we are actually opening up the channels to allow glucose to go inside of the muscle where it wants to be. So we want to make sure you do that. Make sure you sleep. Like, that is extremely important, because things repair, our bodies repair. Like, it's so amazing that God put us together in such a way that he's given us all of the tools, and we're just here to guide you and to show you what those tools are, so that make sure you sleep, because sleep is one of the tools that we use to actually repair the body. And the best time to sleep, to get to bed, is between 10 and midnight. So try to go to bed, like start your countdown, your wind down about 9:30. Try to wind down and start working towards getting to sleep by 10 o'clock. That's going to be your best time to to kind of revitalize things. And it's interesting because you'll get better rest between if you go to bed at 10 and wake up at 2 than if you went to sleep, than if you stayed up to 1 and woke up at 8. So it really does make a difference. So try to get to bed at the right time. Also include lots of fiber in your food, and eat your fiber rich foods first, because your fiber rich foods will fill you up and satisfy you in a way that other things don't. Some of the other foods are going to be they're putting in uh, lots of more toxins. So you want to try to decrease the amount of toxins that you consume, increase the amount of fiber stuff, so that when you eat the foods that have more toxins in it, you have fiber in it that will kind of help to move them out more efficiently. That doesn't mean that they don't accumulate, but they will be more efficiently removed if you put food that has fiber in it. And you want to drink lots of water to move the fiber, because if you don't drink a lot of water and you just have a lot of fiber, it can actually cause you to be constipated and make it really uncomfortable. So you want to drink lots of water, make sure you stay very well hydrated. And the last thing that I want you to do is to make sure that you are managing your stress levels. That there are lots of stressors that occur, and we're dealing with some pretty significant stressors right now in our family, having just lost my mother-in-law yesterday, and that was very, very detrimental for us, for her. She had leukemia, and so we lost her yesterday. And so just managing the stress of that is a whole task in and of itself, especially around the holidays. And I'm sure some of you probably can understand what that's like, to lose someone that you care about, especially like there's never a good time, but especially during the holidays, it becomes very, very tough. So I just enlist your prayers for our family. I thank you. I know you will. So no matter when you're seeing this, if you're looking at it right now, or if you're live with us, or if you're going to be seeing it later on, just remember us in your prayers, as long as you pray to the real God, that remember us in your prayers, so that we can get through this time for stress. But make sure that you have some very healthy ways of managing your stress. And that might include things like magnesium glycinate is very good at helping to relax you. It is getting rest. It is reading. Like for me, I like to read like my favorite book is the Bible. So I like to read, and like things that kind of make my just kind of gets my spirit right. I'll do that. Maybe poetry for some people. It might be that you might want to laugh, like watch something funny. That doesn't cause more stress. You might want to go back to some of the old shows that we used to watch a long time ago, when it was just purely funny, and it didn't have to curse to make you laugh. They just made you laugh because it was funny. I think that we've lost that art over these last 20 or so years. We don't really have the art of making people laugh without vulgarity, and you don't have to have that, which kind of gets into your spirit and makes it a little bit more stressful. So I would want to try to look at things that just purely make you laugh. It may be just sitting and enjoying a spa experience for yourself. My daughter, they do this all the time. They'll just like go take a hot bath and put some magnesium salts and some lavender and just kind of relax in the bathtub, and maybe put a little of a facial mask on, and put some cucumbers over your eyes and lie down and just take a moment to just gather yourself and to relax. It does amazing things for your body. I used to look at people and say, those cucumbers are doing nothing, but they are. They're hydrating your eyelids, and it helps to not have like the heavy bags under your eyes and things of that nature. So those are things that I would absolutely recommend. So that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been an absolutely incredible experience for me. We have so much content for you in so many different ways. We have programs, we have blogs, and that is actually a blog, that one. Could you put that in there too? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But Maria, would you put the blog? I'd love for them to be able to watch that blog, to help navigate through the grocery store. So we'll link that in there so that you can use that. Remember to sign up for the Accelerated Healing Detox Boot Camp. It is a 40-day challenge. And I didn't tell you a little bit more about that. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to start going through and resting first your kidneys and your liver. We're going to give ourselves, and the bowel. We're going to bowel rest so that we're not going to allow all of those, like, just bombard our systems with all these different things. There are many programs out there where they just want to give pills and supplements and things of that nature, but we're not really giving our bodies an opportunity to rest. And that's what we're going to do. Is first, we're going to hyper nourish the cells with some incredible juicing recipes that I have cured for just for this purpose. We're going to do bowel rest to allow our kidneys to rest, to give our liver an opportunity to start getting rid of some of the stuff that's been piled up, all the toxins. Do you know the liver has over 500 different functions in the body, and it's going to keep working and working and working and working, even under duress. And so we're going to take away the duress so that we don't overwork the liver, because when it works under duress, that's when we start to see it not function properly. That's when you might see you may bleed a little bit more. That's when you might see that you have more inflammation, more joint pain, more fatigue, difficulties thinking, foggy thinking. All of those things are happening because the liver is just piled up with things and really can't do the job it needs to do efficiently. So we're going to first bowel rest and allow our bodies to be able to rid of those things. You're going to pee a lot, and it's like an incredible. And every time you urinate, just say biotoxins, because you're getting rid of them through your urine. And then we're going to start in our next phase, we're going to start adding lots of fiber into the diet. Adding this fiber in is going to now all that hyper nourishing, all of those things that we've been doing previously in phase one, we're going to start doing so that we can get that, use the fiber to start pushing things through the system. We've been killing things. We've been giving the liver the things that it needs to be able to detox safely. And that's the key word, is we have to detox safely. We have to give the body the things, because when the body is detoxing, it goes from one phase to the second phase. Phase one detoxification, phase two detoxification. And just going from phase one to phase two, it can be more dangerous than the actual toxin itself. And so we're going to give the body the things that make you detox safely. And then we're going to be moving those things out. And then we're going to start teaching you how to add foods back into your diet. You're going to add more cooked foods into your diet in a different way than you thought. And we're going to do that process for the phase three. And then we're going to do even more in phase four. And in phase four, that's the 40 days. Then you will help you to navigate getting back into your routine, which is what we started doing in phase three, to help you get to normalize your diet and teaching you the things to maintain a healthy, a more healthful diet plan for yourself. And that includes, if you're going to eat meat, fish, whatever it is, we want to teach you how to do it safely, and how to do it most efficiently so that your body can still fight for you instead of against you. So that being said, thank you so much for joining us today. I said I was going to cut it short, and I did by 1 minute and 30 seconds. So thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hop in there and check out the blog. Make sure you download the recipe cookbook and make sure you join the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp that will begin on January 2nd. Remember, space is limited. The deadline is December 15th, and we will not, unfortunately, not be able to take any late registrants this year. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'll see you next time so you can see how to eat, how to live, and how to be. See you later. Peace, love. Take care.